Ji Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In fact, we are recording this video. I will make a series of videos followed by this one on the subject of corporate law. However, this video is specifically for my contemporary students. Uh, so, without doing any further, introductory remarks, let's directly jump to the question. Acceptance, basically in corporate law uh, or in business law. Acceptance, what is acceptance? We have to know, like, when a person A proposes something to person B regarding, specifically with some business background, then the acceptance, we have to define it. Basically, according to the Contract Act 1872, when the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, the proposal is said to be accepted. Proposal, when accepted, become a promise. So a new term arises here. You have to be well aware. Promise, when the acceptance of proposal is executed, is when proposal accepted, it's turned into another legal terminology which is called promise. For example, a person A offers B to sell his car for 3 lakh. However, B gives the assent. He gives, okay, I am willing to buy that. Now we can say that proposal is accepted. So the A and B, these are the two legal persons, which are, one of them is promiser and the other one is promisee. Who is promiser and who is promisee? Just like we came to know that when an acceptance, or sorry, when a proposal become promise, when the consent of the other party is executed, then promiser, the person who is making the proposal, who is making the offer, is actually the promiser, and definitely the person who is at the receiving end, to whom the proposal is made about the car, is the promisee. So those are few terms which you should recall and which you should just like remember. Essentials or the conditions for valid acceptance. An acceptance by the other party should not be coercive or should not be by force. It should be by, not by any illegal means. So there are certain conditions, essential elements for a valid acceptance. Following are the essential elements. Okay, let's go through them briefly and shortly one by one. Acceptance must be given by the offeree. Definitely, the offeree is the person who is on the receiving end, who is going to buy your car. He is actually the offer. So an offer can be accepted only by the person to whom it is made, and he has to accept the offer with his free consent. For example, X offered to sell his house to Y, and a third person Z, who was aware of such offer, said that he is ready to buy the home of that X person. So there is no contract with Y, because offer has been made to the Y. The third person, he is the outsider, basically, you can say. So that offer will not execute, will not, cannot be materialized. Then reasonable time. If that time limit is specified, then acceptance must be within the, if there is some deadline given. So if no time limit is mentioned, then acceptance must be given within a reasonable time frame. Like, it should not be like 6 weeks, 6 months. So there is no response from the other side. So it will not be a reasonable time, even if the deadline is not mentioned. For example, you will understand it very easily now. A person A offers B to sell his house for rupees 4 lakh within a week. I mean 7 8 days. Okay. If B replies within a week, then it is a valid acceptance. However, after week, there will 10 days, 9 days, the acceptance will not be valid. It will be void or it will be invalid. Absolute and the other essential condition, absolute and unconditional. The acceptance must be absolute and unconditional, mean It should be a valid acceptance. The person who is accepting the offer, who is accepting to buy the home, should be mentally and physically, he should be perfectly in his senses. He should be a normal person, and he should be free to in his decision, are free to take his consent positively. So the acceptance must be absolute and unconditional. It will not be subject to any condition that, for example, if you not gonna buy my house, I'm going to do this harm, or I'm not going to do this favor. So these are the conditions. Conditions should not be there, any condition or any pressure on the receiving it. If there is a variation in the acceptance, then it is not a valid acceptance, but a counter proposal in itself. Variation in the, no, the concept is quite different here. Okay, if there is a variation or there is some bargaining from the receiver side, then it will not be, it will be a basically new proposal, a counter proposal, that okay, if you reduce 1 lakh, then this is my proposal, that I'm going to buy this house. Then are you getting? Let me elaborate you with a real world example now. A offered to sell his house to B for rupees 5 lakh, and B reply he can buy it for rupees. So there is no acceptance on the part of B. There is no acceptance, but a new proposal can be there for rupees 4 lakh from the side of B. So this is what is the meaning of discussion we were just having. Then refusal of acceptance, definitely. If an offer is once rejected by the offeree, then he cannot accept it again unless it is renewed. Renewed means, he's saying, for example, A makes an offer to B to sell his TV for rupees 3,000, 5,000, whatsoever. B says rupees 2,000. Okay, give me discount of 1,000, then I will buy TV from you. After that, B cannot bind A to sell the TV, even though he is ready to pay 3,000 demanded by A. It's saying that after that, it doesn't mean that B can force or B can compel A to sell the TV, even with the 3,000, then not, because what is saying, A makes an offer to B to sell his TV for 3,000. Once it is rejected, then it has to be new again. Okay. Then acceptance must be communicated to the offerer, definitely. For example, A offers by letter to sell his house to B. B expresses his intention to purchase it but doesn't reply to A. There is no acceptance. At least there should be a written reply, or there should be a verbal reply to execute. Otherwise, there is no acceptance. He is willing to buy in his own mind only. So this is not. Then complete acceptance there should be. For example, A offers to sell 2 cars for rupees 6 lakh. B agrees to purchase. It is not a valid acceptance because it was meant for two products or the two commodities. So this is not a valid acceptance. Acceptance before revocation of an offer. Revocation of an offer means when the offer is revocated, when it's rejected, when it is abrogated. Acceptance must be given before the offer is revoked or cancelled or nullified, or it's become invalid, or it's rejected by the reason of promises, death, or insanity. Insanity means if he becomes dishonest. For example, A offered B to sell his car for rupees 4 lakh. Before B acceptance, A died. Now the offer cannot be accepted. He died or he became insane, dishonest. But it's also mean that mentally he is not ready to execute, the proposal. He's become insane. And even if it's, going some, if it's giving some negative intention, insanity, something illegal or something which is not binding to law. So it's a negative side of, you can say, word. Then it should not be uh, there. It's an essential condition. Then insanity will not be entertained. Acceptance of the the proposal. Acceptance cannot be valid if acceptance is given before communication, because these are certain SOPs. There should be communication, and then there should be for example, A is thinking to sell his watch to B, but still not make an offer to B. It's just like the prior example that, okay, he was just thinking to buy his house, but he didn't reply to his letter. So this is from the other side. It's come to knowledge of B and he writes a letter of acceptance to A. So there is no acceptance of A because A doesn't make an offer to B. Then acceptance in the prescribed manner. Acceptance must be, though I was talking about the SOPs, acceptance must be given in according to particular manner prescribed in the offer. And if the acceptance is not given according to that, then it can be rejected, it can be revocated, it can be cancelled by the offerer who is basically, for example, A offers to sell his car 4 lakh, 4 lakh, and says him for giving acceptance by telegram. B writes him a letter instead of telegram. A may reject it, but he becomes bound to inform B that he has rejected it. The condition of telegram is not fulfilled by the B, then A has the right, he may reject it, but he has to inform B about its rejection as well. Then it will be a prescribed manner format. Otherwise, it can. Then acceptance may be expressed or implied. When an acceptance is given by words or spoken or written, it is called express. When you are expressing it, when it is given by conduct, it is called implied. Okay, you said from your conduct, from your conversation, you are happy to accept that, and the other person knows. So it is an implied acceptance. For example, A wrote a letter to B to sell his cycle for rupees 2000. B accepted his offer and sends a letter of acceptance to A. It is an express, he has expressed via letter. A widow, basically a widow lady, promised to settle some immovable property on her nice XYZ name. She want to transfer his immovable property. Immovable means it can be property, it can be his house or plots, etc. So stayed with her in her residence. The nice stayed in her residence till her death, and when the widower she died, the nice was entitled to the property. So definitely the property was transferred to the little girl. I think I should end my video here. I will debate on the next question in detail, and definitely this was made for a particular group of students. So that's why I have not discussed it in my regular style. However, I will keep on discussing the few concepts and I will keep on uploading it on my channel. So I think this video could be helpful for you. Take care.